going to teach me a thing or two about chopping.
Yes.
I'm going to learn some knife skills. Already, this is wrong. Like, look how I'm holding this knife.
It's totally wrong.
It's totally wrong.
So let's go through this very quickly so we get it right. First of all, it's got to be stable. So your cutting board has to be affixed to the table, either with a wet rag or with stoppers on the bottom. The next thing is the pinch grip. So grab your knife and start by pinching it. Okay. Then roll 3 fingers underneath. Okay. Now you are now one with that knife. That knife is you now. So now you can build with confidence. So I'm going to give you a pepper, and I'm going to show you a really easy way to take the sides off of a pepper. So literally pass the knife down through.
Do I keep holding it like this? Because it does feel very nice and sturdy.
You always hold it like that. Okay. So this allows us to take the sides off. Leaves you a little treat for the chef. We can set that aside. I want my treat. Okay, you take your treat. And so this will allow us to do a couple really great cuts. The first is a julienne. So you want to go skin side down. The skin is very slippery. And literally just passing your knife. So the first thing you're doing there, I want to tell you, see, this arc in the knife is designed to rock. Like this. Exactly. So you want to keep that tip. Watch the motion of the knife, and this is something that I want you to practice. Next time I come, I'm going to be checking up on you, okay? So you can see, and that's how chefs can move very quickly. So if I'm doing a piece like this and I'm in the kitchen, I can move very quickly through it because my point of reference is always the same. So your nails are not like mine. Does that just mean that sound like an excuse? Okay, you don't want me to get nails and try this. Come on, no, it's tough. It's very tough. You just keep your hand moving, right? Yeah, you just keep your hand moving. Keep it moving. That's right. So once you have a julienne, which is great for salads, if you want, let's say for an omelet, you want a brunoise or a fine dice, you turn the julienne sideways. All right, and do the same motion. Yeah, and rock it out, baby. Rock it out. You're rocking the board. It looks good. This is very good. Very nice. This feels good. Listen, I've got a 50-pound bag of potatoes and onions. I'm going to leave it with you. Sorry, I'm busy right after this. Let's take an apple. All right. And I'll give you an apple. So instead of cutting through it, you're in a hurry. You want a quick snack. Let's just cut around that core. That core is right in the center. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is, when you have a lot of kids, this is what you do. You've got, now that is ready to go out, and it keeps it very, very simple. Core, toss it away. Apples are good. Now you can see here we've got a couple fun cuts. We've got this potato cut is called Pont Neuf. It's actually named after a bridge, first bridge in Paris, and the base of the bridge looks just like that. When you're cutting potatoes, they're rolling all over the place, right? You're always fighting with them. The first thing that I want you to do is take the bottom off. If you take the bottom off, that makes sense. It stays put on you. After you take the bottom off, let's slice it in half. In half? In half. And then, like this, we'll just make some little matchstick fries. Oh, I did something wrong. Okay. No, you're good. Lay it down. So the nice thing is, my producer was like, no, you're doing it wrong. No, so you want to avoid the trip to the Golden Arches, and you want nice little matchstick fries. Yeah, they're going to be just like at the restaurant. They literally will. 375 degrees. And you can make them at home. So you get. So the nice thing about. I think I just freestyled it here, or is this right? No, that's very close. Those are steak more like for tomahawk steak, but I guess those will do too. And now let's do the one that everybody is terrified about, and that's the onion. Not because of cutting it, but because of the weeping that goes on. Crying. What do you do about that? Well, I just get somebody else to do it. But if I have to do it, I start by taking off the root. And you take off the root because if they're fresh onions, that's normally where there's some dirt. And then you take off the tip. And then, lo and behold, it sits nice and flat again. Always cutting flat when you can. Slice it in half. Now you're taking that apart like a boss. And then you'll notice that onions this is the root, this is the tip, and they're kind of held together. So if you want to make a fine dice, you literally cut away from that root. And as I don't know if I did that right, but whatever. Don't take your eyes off it, please. Okay? I was looking at you. Yeah, I know you are. I'm looking at the cameras. And looking at the cameras, I know. And then cut a cross section like this. And what it allows you to do is get nice, uniform pieces. See, I've seen this done before, but I never knew how they were doing it. Okay, so you're doing a good job. So this is your root tip. The other thing that this happens quite commonly too. Take that stuff off. take that off. That's slippery.
Okay.
So pull that off, and then all you have to do is, away from the root, you're just pulling away, just like this.
Okay.
Just literally just pulling away.
All right.
Keep going. And then, you know why professional chefs focus so much on cuts?
Why?
It's because everything needs to be cooked uniform.
Yes.
So, and even when it's fresh. So imagine you've got red onion in a fresh salad. You don't want a great big chunk of fresh onion. You know, you want everything to be the same and fine and refined.
Okay.
So we've got cuts here. We've got the julienne.
What do I do next?
Okay, so
I did slice, 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 slice.
Okay, so
I'm actually interested. There's no more time for this segment, but I gotta know.
Okay, so now all you do is just literally go the other direction. So perpendicular, and you start making a nice dice. The only thing that you didn't do is you didn't pass all the way through to the bottom of the board.
I was supposed to do that.
Yes, you were, but still you're getting the skills down, and that's the key.
Okay.
If you want really good knife skills, you have to practice, and don't forget to pinch.
Start with a really good knife.
It really is important.
It really makes a difference.
And if you need knives, you got to start off with, you just need a bread knife.
Yeah.
You need a chef's knife, and then you need a small paring knife.
Right.
Start with those three, and you'll have success in the kitchen.
Good stuff. I felt pretty good about that. You know what we need this time of year? We need happy food. That's why Jonathan Collins is with us today. These recipes, this is what I love about the recipes. So these recipes have been around for a long time because this is a recipe from your oma, your grandma.
That's right, my oma and opa.
Your oma and opa.
Yeah, they immigrated from the Netherlands.
We've got pictures. I'm just floored by these pictures.
I love the pictures.
This picture of your entire family getting off a plane, coming to Canada, came to Montreal.
Came into Montreal, came in on one of those old DC-3 tail draggers. Nothing but the clothes on their back and just probably just a couple dollars. They came in, and it's a very classic kind of Canadian, you know, immigrant rags to riches type story.
That's right. Although, you know what? They're wearing good clothes, which doesn't happen in the airport.
You got to know my oma. They would be sharp. Absolutely.
Yeah, because it was all about, you know, traveling. Getting on a plane was a very big deal. You're going to a new country. You're going to start a life. Like, they're wearing good pea coats and like with proper buttons and hats. And I think it's just amazing to look back. And I think it's amazing that this recipe has stood the test of time, because now you are making it for us. What are we going to make?
So we're making two versions of a very rustic meal. We're making hotspot and stamppot, and they're literally just two versions of a potato, onion, apple mash. The difference, so you can see here, and this is one of the great things about this dish, is everything is in one pot. So you start off with potatoes, you layer kale and apple and onion, and you top it with the smoked sausage. So you just literally put that in about an inch of water and bring it to a boil, and within an hour, you've got a large hearty meal, enough to feed a large group of people.
And there were a lot of kids.
Always a lot of kids.
So you need a lot of food.
You need a lot of food. My mom would always say that they would fight for the sausages, you know, that would be the premium. But the nice thing about both of these dishes is that they use inexpensive ingredients that most of us have around the house all the time. So it's literally just a matter of peeling some potatoes, which is quite simple. And quartering the potatoes so that they'll all boil and cook more or less at the same time. And then in this case, we've got the hotspot, which is just peeling carrots and very simply cutting them up. Again, you want to make sure when you're making a mash like this, everything is roughly the same size so that when it does cook, it cooks evenly. So I'm literally just breaking it down.
Did you have special jobs? I mean, I know this goes back a couple of generations, but was there something that you were assigned to do when it came to these kinds of meals?
Kids always have to peel, right?
You're
always doing the peeling. You're like the benevolent mothers. You're like, could you peel that for me? And what are you going to say? You're going to say no?
No, you got to peel it.
So I'm going to put this in your hands, because this was in my oma's hands in the old country. I was fortunate enough to get the ladle that she actually served some families when she was there as well. And so of course that's what she used to serve her family for generations, and then this ended up in my hands as well.
Beautiful. What a keepsake and a memento. You know, all of us sort of think back to our grandmas and our great-grandmas when it comes to recipes. So simple, but the reason why it stood the test of time is because this is nutritious comfort food.
It is, and so it's also simple in terms of the principles. So you have all those ingredients cooking together, but the sausage is really the key. Because it's smoked, it's getting all that salt and all that smoke flavor down inside that. And then to finish it up, literally all that you have to do is just mash it. And without any, you know, power tools or anything inexpensive, you can literally just bring this together in a nice fine mash. And what you end up with is this kind of voluptuous, nice, and it's really nice because it holds the kind of gravy and also brings it together in a really nice way.
That is good.
So let's keep making a few. I'll show you a few more cuts here, because later on we have coming up some knife skills. And you know,
I'm scared about that.
No need to be afraid. It's going to be a great segment. It's going to be simple. You know, the most important thing is to have a good sharp knife.
Yes.
And then, you know, especially when you're making a dish like this, really simple cuts are all that you need because everything's coming together in a mash.
Right.
So literally, as long as everything's roughly the same size,
you're okay.
You're good to go.
It doesn't have to get fancy. It doesn't have to be diced teeny tiny.
It doesn't. It's really simple. And interesting story. These are some red Prince apples. This is actually these are actually grown by an immigrant family. Only one here, one grower in the country, and they're cellar aged and they come into season just now. But they're perfect for this because the classic Stump Out and Hot Spot didn't always have apple, but we've added apple, or my Oma did, because it would make it a little more sweeter. And especially when you're talking about the kale, it would just help to sweeten it up a little bit. But you're talking about, first of all, when you're putting these together, you've got all the ingredients. You're not losing any nutrition. You know, you're not boiling anything away. Everything is concentrated and in one beautiful dish.
And you're not adding anything.
No, you're not adding anything.
That's why you need an apple for sweetness. Like, there's no sugar going in. There isn't anything extra going in. This is whole foods, and it's the way that I think people are trying to eat more like these days.
Well, and especially if you're running out of time and you need something quick in the kitchen, you can just simply grab some potatoes and carrots and onion and apples, put it in a pot, top some sausage, and put it on and kind of walk away, set the lid and walk away from it. You're good to go.
And then you ladle it out for all 13 of the children.
That's right.
Out it goes. That's right.